Brothers and sisters, some time ago, a sister came to my office and she came to complain about her husband. And little did she realize that in complaining about her husband to me, the imam, she taught me a very valuable lesson. And I want to share that lesson with you tonight. She says, Imam Siraj, I remember when my husband first married me, he showered me with attention. Sounds familiar, sisters? He was so attentive. He always talked to me. He spent time with me. He showed me a lot of attention, but seems as if, as the years go by, my husband shows less and less and less attention to me. And I started thinking about what the sister was saying. And subhanAllah, do you know that? From what she told me, I learned a very valuable lesson. If I would ask this esteemed audience tonight, how many of you love Allah? I think that everyone would raise their hand and say, yes, I love Allah. I believe that. And I believe that you love Allah. But I think our actions show otherwise. You see, brothers and sisters, the thing that I learned from our wives, it's important how you begin a relationship. Because how you begin a relationship, it is expected and anticipated that it would continue the same way. No one likes to be showered with love and affection, and then all of a sudden, no more love, no affection, no more time, no more attention. So therefore, it's important for love relationship to continue throughout the relationship. Even if you've been married 30 years or 40 years, you should still show attention to your wife like she's the most important thing on this earth, and she is. Yes. Tell her that, brothers. In fact, I got to talk to you later, brothers. No, I'm serious. After the sister's gone, we have to talk. How many of you brothers are married? Raise your hand. All right, we got to talk. How many single brothers want to get married? We got to talk. Sisters, we're going to try to straighten them out, inshallah. No, by the way, I'm not talking about these brothers here. All the brothers of all the state of Florida are straight. Together. Now, brothers and sisters, guess what I learned? Allah expects his servants to worship him, to love him, to be committed to him. And guess what? Allah demands that you prove your worthiness, your love, your commitment to him every day. Every day. Don't tell me, Imam Siraj, last week, alhamdulillah, I got up for Fajr. What happened to this morning? Every morning you have to get out of your bed every morning. Get up out of your bed every morning and get up before the rise of the sun and turn to Allah and pray to him every day, 5 times a day without exception. Come on now. Why? Because Allah wants you to prove that you still love him. You know why? Because Allah knows people change. One day somebody love and then they fall out of love. One day somebody's committed, no longer committed. So Allah demands every day, every year, you have to fast during the month of Ramadan, don't you? Even though you fasted for 30 years, you have to fast next year, don't you? If you have money at the end of every year, you have to give zakat every year, don't you? Why? Because Allah always demands loyalty from you every day, every week, every year, every time during your lifetime. Allah demands it. You know why? Because Allah refuses to let you take his love for granted. Yes. And you know the lesson that I learned? Question, brothers. In your estimation, Doesn't really matter your answer. Who's the greatest basketball player ever, in your estimation? Michael Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. No, not Kareem. Not right now. We have to talk first. But doesn't matter. But you know what I learned? Show me the greatest athlete ever. People adore them. Even some people, astaghfirullah, worship them. And I will show you when that athlete becomes old and he becomes a step slower. And is no longer great, because inevitably how great you are, Allah will bring you down. And then the people will ask of that athlete, Michael Jordan, 1 year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, mark the word down, there'll be some other great rookie, and they'll replace Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan will be history, and the people will ask Michael Jordan, what did you do for me lately? Yes. You know why? That's human nature. I don't care how great a person is. The real question is, what did you do for me lately? Question. How many of you know Muslims who used to practice Islam and no longer do? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise them up high. Right. You know, a brother told me once before, Nutman, I told you, brothers, I mentioned this before, but I'll say it again. It's a true story. One day a brother looked at me, he's a Muslim. He didn't really know me, Siraj Wahhaj, but he said, do you know, brother, I want you to know that you are not a real Muslim. He says, you're just a convert. And I'm a real Muslim because I'm born Muslim. That's what he said. I want to say 3 things about his statement. 3 things. Number 1, قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet said, كل مولود يولد على الفطرة فأبواه يحودانه وينصرانه ويمجسانه. Everybody is born by nature a Muslim. Even though my parents were Christians, I was born a Muslim. كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. Everybody is born Muslim. Everybody. That's number 1. Number 2, the Messenger of Allah said, لَيْسَ لِأَحَدٍ عَلَى أَحَدٍ فَضْلُ إِلَّا بِدِينِ وَتَقْوَى. There is no superiority of one person over another person except in religion and the fear of Allah. And number 3, the biggest lesson of them all, this brother didn't realize. It's not how you begin the race that counts, but how you end the race. Don't tell me what you were born. Tell me how you died. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتون إلا وأنتم مسلمون. Oh, you who believe, fear Allah as He should be feared, and do not die except as one Muslim submitting their will to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not important how you begin. Not how you begin the race, how you end the race. Everybody starts the race together. Go ahead and run for it. Run the miles, run the marathon. Don't tell me you started first, but the prize is the one who comes to the end. How many of you here, imams, have performed marriages? Raise your hand. Perform marriages. Muslim, yes, perform marriages, right? Perform marriages. How many of you perform marriages? Perform marriages. How many else? Perform marriages. Perform marriages. I don't mean got married. Performed, right? Look at the face of the groom when he's getting married. He's smiling. She's smiling. They're happy, gonna be married. Then what happens? How many of those marriages end in divorce? People get out of marriage not because it began great, but it didn't end the right way. What did you do for me lately? And so for some people, the only thing they have from their marriage is reminiscent of the past, nostalgia, history. And so likewise, there are people who will say, remember, I used to go to the masjid every morning for Fajr. Used to go to the masjid every morning for Fajr, used to read and learn Quran, used to read and learn Hadith, used to get together, used to spend money, used to. But Allah asked the question, what have you done for me lately? So brothers and sisters, knowledge is sacred, but what kind of knowledge? Now,